Hello, good morning, and welcome to a day in my life. It is Thursday, April 8th, and I am going to bring you along today. I had every intention of kicking this off, well, kicking it off maybe with some footage earlier this morning and showing you some new pieces of my morning routine, but I slept in. So rewind to yesterday, my fiance got his first dose of the vaccine and it hit him pretty hard. He had a fever and body aches and he was just not feeling great. So last night I was on a class until 8:30, and originally I was like, oh, I'm gonna do my evening routine from 8:30 to 9 and get in bed at 9. I've been getting in bed at 9 so that I can get up at 5 because I have added some things to my morning routine. So when I got out of my class at 8:30, I realized that my stepmom had called, so I called her back and ended up FaceTiming with her to show her the new apartment. Didn't really even get into my evening routine until 9, and then also realized that most of the things that Sam usually does in the evening, he is in charge of the dishes, taking out the trash, and just kind of generally making sure the kitchen is done and cleaned and ready to go. And we actually had a lot of dishes. I don't know how we ended up with so many dishes, but anyways, he still wasn't feeling well, and part of me almost left it for one of us to do this morning or sometime today, but I realized this is when you got to make decisions between goals, right? So one of my goals for April is to do these daily cleaning tasks. And one of those is making sure that the dishwasher is running and the kitchen is cleaned and the counters wiped down before we go to bed. Another one of my goals is to work out every day, Monday through Friday. But at 9:30 last night, I realized that both of those weren't really going to be an option, because if I stayed up to clean the kitchen and make sure all that was squared away last night and get that check mark, that I was going to end up sleeping in today and not getting the workout check mark. And that's the decision that I made. So this morning, I did some of my extra morning routine stuff, but I didn't film any of it. I will share that in a future day in the life. And I did not get my workout in. So that is what I get for planning the night before. I planned last night and I wrote down workout and I didn't end up doing it. So that's kind of a bummer. I feel like I talk about this in every day in the life, like whether I want to plan at night or whether I want to plan in the morning, because on one hand, I'm like, if I hadn't already planned in the morning, it definitely wouldn't have happened, but it didn't happen anyway. So maybe I should have just waited because now my planner is wrong. But it isn't really that big of a deal that it's in my planner and I didn't end up doing it. So that's my morning. I am about to, as soon as I'm done kicking off this day in life and check that off, then I'm gonna head to work. I'm gonna swivel my chair and work at my actual workstation for my 9-to-5 job. And then I have a couple things to do during lunch and we'll just get on with the rest of our day. And then a couple things that I want to make sure that I mention in this vlog. I want to show you some apartment updates, some things that we've done around the apartment. We actually had a professional, like handyman, I would call him. It was a referral from a friend, hang some stuff around the apartment. So I thought I would share that with you. And then I also have a goal thought, something that I was thinking about earlier this week, and I really want to share it in a vlog. Where'd the bird go, kitty? Where'd the bird go? There's a bird sitting right on that ledge over there, and she is freaking out a little bit. Where's the bird? Where's the bird? Oh, I see it. It's all the way up there. Oh. Okay, it's about 10:30, and I just got off of a call, and I'm gonna make myself a latte. I love our kitchen. I love it. You can probably hear Sam now because I'm right outside his office, which is where the kitchen is. I can't hear him when I'm in my office, which is fantastic, but once I'm here, I can obviously hear him, so you can probably hear him too. But I'm going to make a latte. I'm gonna use one of my favorite mugs that my mom had ready to go for the day after we got engaged. I got an espresso machine for my birthday from my future father-in-law and stepmother-in-law, Sam's dad and stepmom. It is the Lavazza Mini, and right now I just have one type of cup. I struggled to find a lot of different like K-cup options for this machine, and I definitely couldn't find them in smaller quantities, so I ended up buying a pack of 100 of just like normal plain espresso. Like, I don't know what flavor it is. It's called Grand Espresso Dark Roast, from the actual brand Lavazza. And so that's just what I've been using. And then I already had a frother. This is the actual Nespresso frother. Yeah, it's the actual Nespresso frother. This was a gift from my dad for my birthday years ago, and I really wasn't using it with espresso. I was just using it with coffee to like steam or froth milk. And now it's really awesome that I get to make espresso and steam the milk. However, I need to buy better milk to be steamed because my options are almond milk, which is what I have for my smoothie. This does not froth very well. I can steam it, make it hot, and it tastes great. Like, I'm cool with the way that it tastes, it just doesn't froth up. And so if I want it to be an actual like frothed latte is the one that's frothed. I can never remember the difference. Anyways, it doesn't really froth very well. I've heard from a friend that oat milk is a better nut milk to buy to froth, so I might get that when I go to Trader Joe's tomorrow. And then my other option that I have is half and half, which is what I put in my coffee first thing in the morning, which I just use in instant coffee, and then I put a splash of half and half. Froth's great, tastes amazing, but having a latte with half and half every single day, that's a lot of calories. And it's not necessary. Like, I don't need it to have enough, but that is what I'm gonna do today because that's just the mood that I'm in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this up. I don't fill it all the way up to the line either. I just do it to a little bit. It's more half and half than I probably need to put in coffee, but it is espresso. But I think I'm gonna try a different kind of oat milk just because I have been doing this every day. Like, I don't know if it's just because I've been getting up earlier, and so then I feel like I need a cup of coffee. Part of it is just like cozy, it gets me back into the groove of work. Like, just going back into my office with a latte, it just feels, I don't know, feels good. I also want to fill up my water while that milk is frothing, or that half and half frothing. I guess I could also just buy normal milk, which would have less calories than half and half, still tastes great, but would froth, unlike the almond milk. But I'm gonna try oat milk. I don't know, I've actually never had oat milk, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill up my water. If you've watched any of my videos before, I've talked about my very somewhat extensive, but totally works for me water process. I use this jug to have, this is the goal for the day, this is the amount of water that I try to drink, is the amount that's in this jug, but I don't like to drink it out of the jug, so I keep this in the fridge, which fits so much better in our new fridge, by the way. And then I pour it into here with ice, because I like ice cold water and I like a straw. So that is my water process. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this. It looks so good and tastes so good. It's delicious. All right, sitting down to eat lunch finally. I started my lunch hour with a call that I am so excited. I'm working on something for you behind the scenes. I may have dropped a hint about it in our recent Lattes with Laken, but I'm really excited about it. And so it was an exciting update call coming soon. I know it can be very frustrating when I'm like, oh, I'm working on something that I can't tell you about, but it's day in the life, and that's what I did for the first half of my lunch hour. And now I'm actually about to eat. This is my lunch. It does not look very appetizing, but I promise it's delicious. We had some leftover tacos. I made tacos, I guess it was Monday night for dinner. So it's just taco meat with taco seasoning from Trader Joe's and beans. And on the actual night, we also had guac. We finished it with we had guac and chips. So for this meal, I went ahead and added in some eggs so to make it a little bit more protein heavy. So it's almost like a breakfast taco. And then it's got a little bit of cheese on top. And then the tortillas I'm using are the carb conscious ones from Trader Joe's. They're actually fantastic. I didn't buy them necessarily because I'm trying to cut carbs. I was just trying to get the lowest calorie tortilla option. And I actually think that they're great. So I'm gonna sit here and eat my tacos and work on all of the Lattes with Laken post-production stuff. So I'm gonna rewatch it back. And then also add any, like if I said I had a video, I'm gonna add that link, you know, when the video pops up at the top, and just make sure that everything looks good in the description box. And then you can also add like hashtags, basically is what it is, to a YouTube video. So I will do that too for some of the topics. And then what I try to do is have a summary, like make a summary of what we talked about and post that on Instagram for anybody who missed the live but might want to catch the summary if one of the topics that we talked about sounded interesting to them. So that is something that I always try to do. I know I've done a day in the life on a Thursday before, and so I've talked about this before, but I always try to do that the day after the live, is kind of all this like post-production stuff. So I'm gonna do that while I eat my tacos, and then it's time to get back to work. All right, the last part of my lunch hour, I'm running a quick errand. One of my things I'm working on this month is getting more steps in, and a tip that I got actually from my nutrition coach, but she also talks a lot about fitness on her Instagram, is, especially in New York, stop buying things from Amazon and having them shipped to you. So like, instead of, there's something we need for the apartment, and instead of ordering it on Amazon, which I totally could have done because I didn't need it like right away, I am walking to Bed Bath & Beyond to pick it up. And I mean, this one trip is not life-changing. I'm not gonna hit my goals, my step goals, by just this one trip to Bed Bath & Beyond. But the more that I do this and make this a habit, the more likely that I am going to hit my step goals, and then therefore my weight loss goals as well. So that's what I'm doing. It also gets me outside. I am also trying to make sure that I get some direct sunlight at some point during the day, especially during like peak sunlight hours, trying to get that vitamin D because it definitely helps me sleep. Like, I notice a difference when I don't get outside. Okay, before we lose the sunlight, let me show you some of the updates to the apartment. Although I realize that this video is actually going live before the office tour. So the office tour will be live Monday. And there are some things in that video that I'm like, this is going to happen. And now as of this video that's going up earlier, they will have already happened. So anyways, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but just FYI, in that video on Monday, I'm gonna say these things are happening, but we got some things done, like I mentioned, by a professional handyman, and I'm just excited to show them off. There's only a few that are in my office and then a couple in other parts of the apartment. So first up are these little calendars. I had these in the old apartment as well, if you remember, and I just transported them here. I have them hung on the brick. He just screwed in, he like drilled in and put screws into the grout in between the brick. And then I hot glued the ribbon onto the calendars. The ribbon and the calendars are both from Amazon. And then he also went ahead and hung my mirror. So now I officially have a vanity area. I'm not trying to just get ready on that little tiny mirror hanging off of the lamp. And then I also switched the places of the makeup and the lamp. I just felt like it kind of, it opened up the room a little bit from this angle, having the lamp on that side of the dresser. And then he also hung up this. This is new for us. I originally had something else there in the old apartment that was really just mine. Didn't really have any meaning to Sam. And so we picked out this new piece. It's actually from Etsy. Comes in a bunch of sizes and a bunch of different options, like, you know, 1 piece or 3 piece or even 5 pieces, and then different color schemes as well, but really excited about that. And then we also had him hang this mirror. So this is our little like entryway area, mask, keys, etc. This mirror came from the old apartment. Could use a little bit of touch-up paint there, but he got that hung up as well. Okay, everything else I realize is in Sam's office and he's on a call, and plus it's his space. I don't really necessarily plan to show that space. I realize we actually don't have any other updates in the rest of the apartment. We are still waiting for the hardware to come so we can put our kitchen table together. And then once that comes, we can get rid of our old coffee table and build the new table that we got. Okay, before I get into my communication routine, and then I was thinking about taking a stretch class at 6. The Fit Club, the fitness program that I'm a part of, it also includes all of her live classes, and there's a weekly live class on Thursdays that's a 45-minute stretch, and I've tried it multiple times before. I just cannot do 45 minutes of a stretch class. But today there's a theme, and the music in the background is going to be boy band ballads, and so I signed up for it thinking this is going to be my first week kind of really upping my fitness, like the amount of time I'm spending each day working out. And so I was like, a stretch would probably be really nice by Thursday. And it does sound really nice, but I'm also exhausted. And I know it's not gonna be that intense, but I also have like a couple other things I need to finish up. I'm getting some website updates done tomorrow that I'm really excited about, but I have to send all of the updates to the designer who does my website today, and I haven't done that yet. And so if I do the stretch class, so we'll do my communication routine from 5 to 6, do the stretch class from 6 to 6:45, and then by the time I cook dinner and eat dinner and like have dinner, and then it'll be like 7:30, and then by the time I do all the stuff for her, it's be like bedtime. I also really just kind of want to read my fiction book. I finally just like got over the hump, and I'm like really invested in what happens next, and so I really want to read that. So anyways, I think I might bail on the stretch class today. That's how I'm feeling today. But more importantly, before I move on with my evening, I want to chat about the goal-related thing that has been on my mind for the last couple of days. And back when we were doing weekly vlogs, this is something I just would have talked about that day, but I knew I was gonna be doing a day in the life later this week, so I jotted it down, and here we are. And so what we're gonna talk about is the difference between like a realistic to-do list and a stretch, over-ambitious to-do list. And what sparked this is that I actually saw or heard, I think one was a podcast and one was like an Instagram post, but I basically consumed content from 2 different places, giving me 2 totally different mixed messages when it comes to goals. One of them said, if you don't set stretch goals, if you don't set goals that are unrealistic, and you set goals and you check absolutely everything off of your list, all you're doing is making a to-do list and not actually setting goals. And I was like, okay. And then not even 24 hours later, again, Instagram post or podcast or something, they said that setting realistic goals is a sign of maturity. and that you need to focus on realistic goals as opposed to these like pie in the sky goals that you're never going to accomplish. And I was like, well, that's the opposite of what I just read the other day. And so I just wanted to share kind of my take on it and what I think, which is neither of those extremes. Let me just start by saying that. I think that is an issue in general with a lot of things, is we feel like it needs to be one or the other. I need to either set super realistic goals where I'm gonna check absolutely everything off and it's gonna be perfect, or I need to set stretch goals, and then even if I don't hit them, at least I'm stretching for something bigger. And usually picking an extreme and going in completely one direction or the other is not going to be productive or beneficial no matter how you lean. And the way that I've explained this before is by thinking about it how you tackle to-do lists. Are you the kind of person that needs a very realistic to-do list? A to-do list where you know that you can get everything checked off, and if you can't get it all checked off, then you're going to feel like you're not even gonna start, you're not even gonna try? Or are you somebody who just wants to brain dump and have this entire to-do list to pick from, knowing very well that that to-do list in front of you is not going to get done by the end of the day, the week, the month, whatever the time frame that you've set? I can't usually operate that way. If it doesn't feel like something I can realistically check off, it's more unmotivating to me than motivating. That said, I have gotten much better about letting go of the empty check marks, or the lack of check marks, and the space in my planners and my goals and all of those things. But I still tend to lean more realistic than ambitious, just because if it's too ambitious, it overwhelms me and then I won't even start. But I know people in our community, I have friends who they can make the ambitious list, the ambitious to-do list, know that it's not all gonna get done, but still have an incredibly productive day and check a lot of things off. The same is true for your goals. If you're somebody that's going to get completely unmotivated by it being way too ambitious and not even close to feasible, then set more realistic goals. I don't think that's the same as making a to-do list. As long as your goals, what you're putting on that goals list, are things that you wouldn't have done otherwise, it's still a goal. It's not a to-do list. Just because you're being realistic about it doesn't make it a bad thing. And it doesn't mean that you're not seeing progress and growth and accomplishing your goals. On the flip side, if seeing those blank spaces in your goal pages doesn't unmotivate you, then set those really super high bar goals, knowing that you're likely not going to hit that. But even if you hit 75% of that, you're going to be super excited and proud of yourself. So it really takes the time in getting to know yourself and what kind of goal setter you are to figure out the best way to go about it for yourself. I don't think that either one of those statements is true. I think that just because you don't check everything off on your list doesn't mean that you're immature or that you can't set realistic goals. And just because you set goals that are realistic doesn't mean that you're making a to-do list and not actually achieving your goals. So all that to say, hi, Charlie. Charlie came by to say hi. And just to remind you that goal setting is a journey. It's a process, and you're going to learn a lot about yourself along the way. You're going to change your mind. You're going to do things differently. I have changed how I tackle my goals and my attending list and all of those things a number of times over. And it's still a process and I'm still learning, but don't feel like just because you read something somewhere that says X, Y, and Z about goals, and same thing goes for me. Question everything that you consume, all the content that you consume, and don't take it as like the end all ultimate, that's the final answer. Take that information, figure out what works best for you, and keep going with that. Before I take the camera down from being like this, my aunt sent me a birthday present that just got here. She didn't have my new address, and with the gift card that she sent came a stack of old pictures, and I just wanted to show you a couple that I really, really loved. So there's this one of me as like a baby. Oh, on the back. Oh, it's my mom's birthday. 5/28/91. So that was me on my mom's birthday. And then there's this one of me and my Mima. I talked about Mima recently in a Lattes with Laken, but this was us at a wedding. I have no idea whose wedding it was, but I was the flower girl in an emerald green dress. And then there's this one. This was at Fiesta, Texas. We got professional photos taken. There's one in here of me and my mom too. She's in like a red blazer. I just love this. I think it's so cute. I love old pictures like this. So it was really fun that she sent me that stack of photos. Okay, now that Sam has an office, I can relocate myself to the couch to do my communication routine. It's so nice just to get myself out of the office and into another room, sitting on a comfortable surface. Not that my chair's not comfortable, but you know what I mean? Just like sitting on the couch, and now I have a kitty. I also went ahead and grabbed my book. This is a fiction book that I'm reading. It's called After I Do. So I'm gonna do my communication routine, and then I'm gonna read my book for a little bit until it's time to cook dinner. Oh my gosh, well, an hour later, and like now I'm crying. I've read way longer than I anticipated, but I just got really into the book, and Sam's on a call, and so like, yeah, I could have started dinner earlier, but like either that meant I was gonna eat by myself, or that, I mean, that's what that meant, or like we would have to heat it back up. So there really was no point in starting dinner. Although I realized I still have to do the things for my website tomorrow. So he probably no, it's probably about time to start dinner. So oh my gosh, it's super, highly recommend this book. After I Do, super good. Okay, let's go make dinner. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've shared this dinner meal in a vlog before, but it is the cauliflower gnocchi from Trader Joe's with a pound of ground turkey. You could do ground chicken, ground beef, whatever. I always do turkey. Mushrooms, any kind of vegetable. You could throw some spinach in there. We use mushrooms. Looks like Sam already dug into these for something. It looks like he didn't take that many, but they're hard. It's not wrapped like it's from the grocery store. And then a jar of marinara sauce. So I'll start by putting the turkey in and get that cooked, and then I'll actually take it out. If I'm on top of my game, I would have cooked the turkey earlier in the week or when I meal prepped. So I'll cook the turkey, then take that off the pan. I could do this in 2 different pans, right? I could save myself time and do this in 2 different pans, but I would, at this point, especially since clearly he's still on a call, I would rather have less dishes than save me 5-10 minutes. So cook the turkey and I'll take it out, and then I'll cook the mushrooms and the gnocchi together in the pan, and then I'll add the turkey back in, add the sauce, let that simmer for a little bit, and then we'll be done. All right, here is the final product. It looks good, it smells good, although I'm really like not that hungry anymore. Does anyone else have that issue? Like by the time you're done cooking dinner, you're just like tired and you don't even really feel like eating. It also probably doesn't help that my mom called while I was cooking dinner and gave me some not so great family news about a family member of mine. So that's how my day is going, and at this point I'm just like tired and kind of want to just like crawl into my bed and be like just done for the day and start over tomorrow. That's just where I'm at today. I pick these days in advance without knowing what's gonna happen, but this is where I'm at. I made myself a small bowl because I know I need to eat something. I put a lot of Parmesan cheese on top of it. Sam is still on the phone. Oh yeah, and to top it off, there was more. I knew there was more. That's something I'm forgetting. I dropped my phone earlier today, and my phone now says no SIM card. It doesn't register the SIM card. I tried like the troubleshooting on Apple's website, couldn't figure it out. I tried to eject the SIM card, won't eject. And so now they're like, no, you have to come into the store and have it looked at. Great. So that's great. And so I'm texting with Apple support right now, trying to make an appointment somewhere in the city, and it's just not what I want to try and squeeze in tomorrow or Saturday. Obviously, when I'm on the Wi-Fi, like my phone works just fine, and that's great, but that means I can't leave the house and use my phone right now unless I can connect to Wi-Fi, which I realize is not that big of a deal. I can call in to work calls via my computer, to Skype calls via my computer, so I can at least still work, and then when I'm at home I can be on the Wi-Fi. But it's just like, I don't know, just again, it felt like a lot of things kept piling up today that I just like, I want to crawl into my bed. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and eat my dinner because I don't really want to wait for Sam, and get back into my book, I guess. I'm not really watching anything by myself right now. Sam and I are watching Superstore. We started watching that, and then we're also watching the new episodes of stuff. Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, Snowpiercer just had its season finale, SVU, and the new Organized Crime show, and then I watch Grey's Anatomy, but that's tonight, so the new one won't be till tomorrow because we don't have cable, so I watch it the next day on Hulu. So I don't really have anything to watch right now, and I think I like it that way because that means when I have these like in-between moments when I'm by myself, I read instead of watch TV, and that's like, I just think it's better for my brain and probably for my eyes. Okay, well, updating Sam just made everything more real, and clearly now I'm very upset. He has actually run out to go get cookies. That's, he's like spring into action. He's like, we need dessert. We don't have anything sweet. We have like dark chocolate from Trader Joe's. That's the only sweet thing we have in our apartment right now. So he went out to get cookies. I'm gonna go ahead and close this vlog here so I can just relax the rest of the night. The day's not ending how I had planned. I'm gonna have to rally and at least finish up some of the website stuff. She's not starting on it till 10, so I might be able to do it in the morning before I get my day started, before work. But of course, that throws off my morning routine, all the things I do in the morning. So I need to figure that out, but I'm kind of useless for the rest of today at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out this vlog here. If you liked this video, if you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome back to a day in my life. Was it 2 days? Was that really? One of my goals, did I just snort? This with a cup of what? I also, so for lunch, so for this nothing. So I'm gonna eat this bowl of dinner. That sounded so weird.